how well does a $1 speaker work? That's the question that we're examining today. Hey folks, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on impressions and first look at this eCircuit mini-powered speaker. This is as low cost as you can get. You can find it even at Dollar Trees, you can get it online, some links are below, but it's extremely low cost and it's a wired speaker, so no Bluetooth, but it definitely amplifies the sound because it requires two AAA batteries, which are not included. So it does power the sound a little bit compared to just simple plug-and-play speakers that we've also seen in the past that produces very low amounts of volume. This should still get some decent volume output, although the sound quality is dubious. That's what we're going to find out, whether it actually sounds decent or not. It's very small. It's made out of plastic. Here's what the packaging looks like. I'm going to tear this from the bottom. And we have a very cheaply printed instruction guide that tells you some basic info about the FCC regulations. And finally, there's just the speaker itself, which you can see is super flimsy, very low-cost plastic, but hopefully it works. There's just a mono speaker on the top here, so there's no radiator, there's no stereo output, and there's a simple power on-off switch on the side next to the auxiliary input that requires a wire that isn't included in the packaging, it looks like. So you have to get your own to plug it directly into a 3.5mm jack by means of a smartphone or an MP3 player. And I'm not sure what this is. It looks like an LED light, maybe a status light or a flashlight. We'll find out later. And the other side just has this kind of flimsy battery door that can be pried off. So indeed, this is a on-off light, and the battery door is so thin and flimsy, and it doesn't really stay all the way closed anymore with the batteries inserted, but it seems to power on fine. And let's turn up the volume. Hopefully unplug it from the iPod. So it definitely does get a little bit louder, although the sound is for sure quite distorted, and there's not that much detail. It doesn't sound very realistic, almost sounds a little muffled, so not great resolution at all. Alright, so let's pause that. So from that quick audio clip, hopefully you guys could hear that, although it does work and it gets quite loud, the audio quality is, fairly mediocre. It's actually better than I expected just because it does produce sound and it does get quite loud, so it does amplify the sound. What, cases would this be good for? It's definitely not great for music listening. I would say if you are at a party, if you have to fill a smaller space, this might be an okay option. Other applications would be watching a movie if you're not super invested in the sound, but let's say the movie is not encoded very well. If you're streaming it and you can't really hear people talking just through the phone's speakers, you can plug this in and it really does make the voices louder. So even though the quality of the sound isn't super rich, it's not really dynamic, it's quite tinny and hollow, it does at least, again, turn the volume all the way up. So the most surprising thing I would say is that it definitely works, but for $1, you kind of get what you expect, not so great audio experience. But perhaps there are a lot of hacks and tricks that you could do with this in terms of maybe using it for pranks, maybe setting up at various rooms in the house for playing back some quick tracks, or again, for connecting it to a phone or something as an alarm. There's definitely things that you can use it for, and for $1, it's definitely very, very low cost. You can check out more details about this in our article coming out soon, but this has just been our hands-on first impressions, kind of hands-on review of this $1 speaker here at OS Reviews. Thanks for watching.